Hello there, Christine. How are you? Thank you for joining me on this morning. Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to tonight, this live taping on tonight. It's been a while. I missed you all. Thank you so much. We're waiting for a few more to join us. So, how have you been, Christina? How have you been? I want to come on for about 45 minutes to an hour. Then I want to tip over to Clubhouse. So, what have you been doing? I want you to join me on Clubhouse on today. Hello, everyone. I am so glad to be with you live today. We're going to talk about frustration that often happens with the narcissist. Many of you have written me and you say, why do they frustrate so much? Do they know what they're doing? And many of you know that they do. And they weaponize the frustration because frustration pins you in, it limits you, it brings you to a lack of clearance and a lack of clarity, and it works for the advantage of the narcissist. So we are waiting for a few more people to join us, and we are getting started. Christina, and those of you that are on, thank you so much for the subscriptions. She's a rough. My father is in ICU. Wow. Okay. And I appreciate your prayers. Absolutely. Absolutely. What is your father's name? What is your father's name? And I can get me and my prayer group to remember to pray for him. I am sorry to hear such sad news. All righty. We will pray for your dad. Yeah, give your dad's name. And we will pray for you, Christina, that God will keep you strong in the midst of this situation. So we're dealing with frustration. You know, frustration is something when you're dealing with a narcissist, it is utterly impossible not to deal with frustration when you're dealing with the narcissist because the narcissist is very intentional with what they do. Hello, Danielle. How are you? Greetings, daughter. Michael Samuel. Okay, he's fighting, blood cancer. Okay, we're already praying for him. I think Karen sent up a prayer request, and we already got the intercessors praying for him. So we're praying for him already. So be encouraged and be strengthened. Christina, thank you so much, Danielle, for joining me on tonight. Hello there, Maria. How are you? Good morning. Good morning. Hello there. Thank you for joining me on this morning. I am excited. You know, my schedule, I'm on my way out of town again, but I'm going to video while I'm out of town. You know, I'm changing from my Thursday live, and I'll be doing it, like I said, on Friday. I'm just happen to be a little bit early in the morning on a Saturday morning, but I'm going to try to do it on a Friday before midnight. And when I'm traveling, I will just pull in like a Saturday morning, like tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. You are so welcome, Christina. It is an honor and a privilege for us. We were talking about frustration when the narcissists weaponize frustration. Why do they do that? Because frustration limit you, it clouds your judgment, it makes you nervous, it intensifies the situation. And when you don't think with clarity, and the narcissist word salad, a lot of time they cause you to fumble in your thinking. So he frustrates you, he pins you against the wall in conversation or in a situation, and you are so frustrated until usually you do outbursts. You find this buildup, and then you just have an outburst of anger, just a release of anger, and that's what the narcissist does. But let me tell you something, you have to be careful with that, especially if you are on edge or you have become where you're so frustrated that the narcissist can pick up your uncomfortability and they think that you will leave. The first thing the narcissist does is take out that phone and they bring you to the edge where you're argumentative and they get you to the point of frustration so you can have an outburst. And guess what they do? They video that. They video that for blackmail later. They video that for court situations. They video that for their friends. So if there's a discard on your part, not on the narcissist part, if there's a discard on your part, the narcissist can say, look how she act, look what she did. She have these outbursts. I did everything I could in the relationship. I loved her. I cared for her. I took care of the family. And look what she does. She always does this to me. And then they show evidence. And a lot of times also what the narcissist does, the narcissist will put it on social media. Hey, Diana, how are you? She said, I didn't know you were here. She said, I'm so happy. Yes, thank you so much. I'm so glad. And see, that's why I love those subscriptions, because when you subscribe and I come on, you'll get that alert. And if you have not subscribed, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Push that bell, and every time I come on, doesn't matter when or where I am in the world, because sometimes I'm all over the world, and you will get an alert. And so, thank you, Diana, for joining me. So the narcissist bring you to a place of frustration. And then if the narcissist is cutting up real bad and the narcissist know your articulation in what they're doing and that you are pretty administrative in what you're doing, and he noticed that you are taking notes, then what the narcissist will do, he'll start taping, he'll start filming, he'll start writing things down. And what does that do? Frustrate you. He weaponizes his frustration, and frustration is to keep you pent in, because frustration limits you. It limits your movement, it limits your thinking, it limits you. And as long as you're limited, the narcissist can pretty much calculate how you're going to move and anticipate what you're going to do. So they use frustration, and they use frustration as a weapon because they stir up frustration in the house. They stir up division in the house. They stir it up against the people of the house, so there can always be division in the house. Thank you so much, Danielle. Um, and so you get frustrated. And one thing about frustrated, especially if you've been with the narcissist a long term, and if you've been on a long term basis with the narcissist, you know discard more than likely. You know cheating, you know deprivation or starvation for an emotional bond, an emotional relationship. Taking time. The narcissist wants you to take time with them, but the narcissist, after the love bombing, you know they sporadic. The love, the time they was taking with you, they don't take anymore unless they want something. And you notice throughout the relationship, when the narcissist wants something, they start that love bombing again. And what the narcissist does, even though you are there and you've been long term with them, you are still an understudy. They still study your ways. They still study your habits, because the narcissist can be very mechanical, very methodical. And so when they're studying your habits, they want to know how to go in and hit the juggler when they need to, because they really don't want to yield a lot of emotions to you, but they definitely want to get a lot of emotions from you. So you find yourself frustrated because you're the one giving and giving and giving and giving, and the narcissist the one taking and taking and taking. And the narcissists continue to take as long as you continue to give. And once you stop giving, then you notice the narcissists start getting frustrated. Why? Because there is no fuel. And if there is no fuel, there is no activation system of the narcissist. You almost put them in a gridlock. When you don't give them fuel, they cannot operate. It's almost like they're stiff, like a bike that need oil. They need oil, because now that you gray rock them, then now you notice that they start devaluation because they are on their way out. Hello there, Tiffany. How are you? She said narcissists will what to drain you. She said and they do not want you. No, they don't want to give. They're self-centered, totally self-centered. A narcissist, NPD is about the individual. It's never about you. And that's why when you are experiencing it seem like the best years, the best time, You know, if you've been experienced with the narcissist, that there's something behind that. They're up to something. They want something. Because love bombing prepares you for the request that the narcissist has, or something that the narcissist wants. And it's something of value to that narcissist. And the reason he love bomb you, or she love bomb you, because they know you're not going to let that go easy. You're not going to relinquish that easy. So when you don't relinquish that, the narcissist will frustrate you. They will frustrate you in your weight. They will frustrate you in your food. They will frustrate you by the way you raise the children. They will frustrate a hairdo that they just complimented 2 days ago, and they tell you it's the worst hairdo they ever seen. It's little thing, the little foxes that spoil the vine. And because they're chipping away at your self-esteem, frustration bring your self-esteem to a plateau. And as long as your self-esteem is low, the narcissist is high. When your self-esteem is high, the narcissist is frustrated. So it's not frustration just on the part of the supply, but the narcissists get frustrated. When you get promoted, when you do good, when you seem to break away, when you're not moved by things that moved you emotionally, things that capture you emotionally, the narcissists get frustrated. And what they want to do is revert that, because they're expert in mirroring. And so what they want you to do is to be miserable at first. And what attracted the narcissist was you were so juvenile, you were so loving, you were so caring. Now the very thing that attracted them is the one that they oppose. They oppose everything that attracted them, because now the narcissist, that's why the narcissist, I'm getting ready to do a video, the difference between a regular relationship and a narcissist relationship. And there is a difference. And many times the signs in the beginning are missed, because everything is fast tracked, everything is fast paced, everything is moving without a thought. And that narcissists know frustration does not capture refined thinking. Frustration puts you in a box and limit you. And many of you, you notice that when you're working, when you first was with the narcissist, you was going forth, you was moving quickly, you was energetic, you were idealistic, you had many goals, you were very creative. But you notice the longer you stay with the narcissist, you start to lose your creativity. You start to, like, I think that was Tiffany was talking about energy drain. You notice you start draining of energy. And in even aging, if as you stay with the narcissists seem to be getting more energy. The narcissists seem to be getting younger. The narcissists seem to be getting more vivacious, while you are drained. Your creativity is slowed down. You're not activating your goals like you were. Now it takes effort to do things that you used to be ambitious toward, because the narcissist is weaponizing your frustration, and they make you so frustrated until you just want to quit. You just want to give up. And the narcissist will have you so frustrated dealing with them over and over and over again, until you just want to give up on everything. But what that does is turn your attention toward whatever it is that was another interest. And now your attention is toward the narcissist, because you hate also to fail, and you don't want to lose to a narcissist. Hello, Orchard, how are you? She said, this is exactly right. Absolutely. And so they weaponize that frustration, and they will use frustration. You with your friends, the narcissist will say something, and your friends come over, and you're just laughing and you're talking. Then the narcissist will come and say something that just don't make sense. It's just totally off. And your friend may looking like, where did that come from? And you're looking like, where did that come from? And they continue. They don't stop. They continue, because why? Your friend is getting your attention. The narcissists want that attention. So they frustrate the situation and cause tension in the situation. And you know what your friend does? Your friend either back off, or the narcissist has engaged the conversation, and your friend has turned their attention away from you to the narcissist. And the narcissist is getting all the attention, and they're laughing. And you look at the narcissist, and there's this smirk on their face. And guess what you are? Frustrated. You are absolutely frustrated because you are looking at them, knowing that they're being deceptive, knowing that the person that they are dealing with, that's not who they are. And so you are angry and frustrated. How many of you experienced that with the narcissist? Like Orchard said, this is exactly right. And see, and they will also do that with your children. They will get you so frustrated. The child is crying. The child need to eat. The narcissist know the child need to eat. So you go and prepares food for the child. And guess what the narcissist does? Interrupt you and say something they want while the child is screaming. So you are trying to handle the child while handling the narcissist to do something that they can do for themselves, but they're putting that responsibility on you. And then another child comes in the room. So it's just chaos. And the narcissist sat there and watch you fumble in the midst, trying to handle the children, handle him, phone ringing, and things that you're doing. Frustration. And the narcissists get off on this. You will see them at their finest when you are at your worst. And remember, frustration, it limits you. And when you're frustrated, you're nervous, you're hollering at the kids, and you won't answer the phone, and you're hollering at the narcissist. You have to make sure that the narcissist isn't taping you, because most narcissists now are very high in social media. And it's not just the supply doing the taping, it's the narcissists doing the taping. They're taping what you say, they're taping what you do. They frustrate you on purpose so they can have evidence that you are off. So when they call you crazy, they got evidence that you're crazy because they want you to seem like you're verbally abusing them. And if you don't have a regular diagnosis for MPD, the narcissist will contend when you say that you're acting narcissistic, and you know not to use that evidence in a court without a medical diagnosis. That would ruin your case. You need a good lawyer. If you go to court for any situation, business, children, any kind of merchandise that you are having together, any kind of business that you're doing together, real estate and parental rights. So you need to make sure that you have the right lawyer. Why? Because the narcissists, even in the court of law, are going to frustrate you. The narcissists will keep counseling, saying that they're sick, they cannot come to court, and they will keep putting that court situation off and prolonging it. Why? Because you are paying the lawyers, and while you are paying the lawyers, they keep changing the dates, and you'll keep having to pay the lawyers with the date. So you're spending more and more money, and guess what you're getting? Frustrated because you're not getting anywhere, and you're using up all the money, and they haven't made the narcissist give you money yet. So the narcissist is hoping that you consume all of your finances trying to keep up with your lawyer. And when they think that you done consume all the finances, then they want a date. They want to go to court. Why? Because the narcissist still have finances and you don't, because he's conniving with even if he didn't, he's conniving with the other supply. The other supply is supplying him with what he need while you are working hard. And some of you have to believe for your family to help you. And a lot of times they can't help you. So you end up spending all of your finances in a court situation. Frustration every single day. Hello there, MXW. How are you? She said they love to frustrate you. The best thing to do is to go no contact. That is true, but it's hard to do that when you're still living with them, when you are still with them. And you can go gray rock, but the narcissist will not let you go gray rock too long, because think about it, they're going to keep pushing that button, keep triggering you. If they don't trigger you, they'll trigger the kids to frustrate you. And if they can't use the kid, they'll use the house, they'll use blame, they'll use devaluation, anything to get you in a reactive. They don't want you to respond, they want you to react, and you get into a reactive situation. And usually when you get in a reactive situation, you're just angry, you just got built up, and you're saying just any little thing. And once again, but you got to take care, because you're not the only one filming. And Laveda said, it's best to just watch the phone rings when the narcissist call. She said, and put them on block when you're going no contact. Absolutely, because no contact, when you go NC, that's NC. And if you've been with the narcissist, there will be a craving. Remember, you got the oxytocin, the dopamine, you got all of these hormones that are working, that are attachment hormones that bond you. And that's why a lot of times you say, it's like I'm addicted. No, it's not like you're addicted. It's like you're addicted because it is addiction, because the narcissist, the same hormones that you use with the narcissist is what the drug addict uses with drugs. And so you find it very difficult to pull away from that narcissist. And when you start to pull away from that narcissist, it's like this hole that is on the inside of you. And then you feel like you're missing something. And so you find yourself, that's why a lot of times when you get ready to go no contact, you give up the thought and you get back in, because you can feel those withdrawals start to happen. And then the narcissist make you feel really bad, because the narcissist will make you think that you really need them, and they frustrate you to change your mind. They frustrate you back. They start hoovering you in the house. And when you have a house hoover, it's more intense. Whatever the narcissist was angry over, they're not angry anymore. I mean, love bombing at its finest. When you are getting ready to put that narc on note and you saying, I'm done with you. It don't matter what you do. You can cheat, you can do whatever. I'm out. The narcissist is going to display at its finest. They will cry, they will plead, they will beg, and they're not begging to get you back. They're begging to hoover you back in, to torture you for what you are doing to them. The more energy the narcissist take in a relationship, the more they are going to torture you. And you got to remember, the closest to the narcissist is the people who get the greatest punishment. And Tiffany said they use whatever to trigger you. She said when they react, they become calm. Yeah, when you react. Yeah, when you go ballistic and you go left, all of a sudden the narcissist, and he's not angry at you anymore. You know, the narcissist, and the narcissist, like they're bipolar. They're angry right here, but once you get angry and go left, the narcissist just, like Tiffany said, they are totally calm. Why? They've got the reaction they want. Narcissists do things to get a reaction out of you. Why? Because you don't react if you don't care. Because you won't care about nothing they do. You only react because you care about them. And as long as you care about them, the narcissist says, I'm getting ready to put it in fifth. I'm getting ready to drive pain to the maximum. I'm getting ready to optimize everything I got. And one thing they want to do is optimize that frustration, because frustration going to go outside of the house. It's going to get on the road. It's going to go to you on your job. It'll go with you to your family. It'll go with you to shopping. You're thinking about what is done to you, what the narcissist is doing, and you're trying to think of a resolution to make this thing work. You're trying to think of how that the narcissist can change. The narcissist start off going to church, and now they don't want to go to church. Or if they go to church, they only go to church to get more cohesiveness with the people and to impress the people. And the people usually, especially when you got your covert and somatic narcissists, very impressive. They know how to get in. They know they have people skills that is off the charts. And you sitting back looking, guess what? Frustrated, angry, because you're thinking that's not even who they are. But the people don't know that. Hi, Kylie. How are you? Thank you for joining us. And Jackson, thank you so much for being with us on today. I really, really appreciate it. Jackson said, my narc told me after 10 years, after a 10-year breakup, that if I meet somebody else, he would guy hell, but I don't understand if it's over. Hmm. Jackson, say that another way. Say that another way for me. You know, you you heard this saying that once you with a narc, you're always theirs. The narcissists believe that. Even if you were chef life and the chef supply is the supply that is, he may come and visit every 6 weeks, every 3 months. They got that chef life on that supply on a schedule, but they're not going to see them on a regular basis, but they won't let them go. And then the ones they seeing on a regular basis, the narcissist, that's why we got hoovers to suck you back in. It's a vacuum cleaner, and that's the brand of the vacuum cleaner, and it sucks up the dirt. And that's what the narcissists want to do: suck up your choice, and suck up your goals, and suck up your will, and suck up your emotion. And every time they leave, they trauma bond you. So frustration assists them in the trauma bond, because frustration will make you work harder. Frustration will make you think harder. Frustration will take you to bed and you don't sleep. You're thinking all night, how is this relationship going to work? What can I do next? And if the narcissist know that you're awake, that's the best sleep they had. The narcissist will wake up and tell you, I slept so good, but they know that you toss and turn. And if you notice that spirit, they don't need a lot of sleep. They don't need it. You're like, how you function off of 2 hours of sleep? How you function off of 4 hours of sleep? And you working and doing all of this. And I mean, they can deal with a host of supply, and they organize that supply. They file that supply, and they work that supply like a business. They work that supply with such an organized schedule until these supplies, and they can have like 20 of them. But these 3 months, they're going to deal this way. And every other day, they got their Wednesday supply, their Friday supply, and then they're going to make sure they take care of home. Because just when you think you got them on cheating, they start staying home. And then they frustrate you again because you think they got them, you got them, and they got a pattern. And then when you get them and start saying what you see, they break that pattern. Now you're frustrated because it looked like you're wrong, but you're not. And what else? And Callie said, yep, she said, you're right. A shelter he sent me text message. What it means is to bring me back. Yeah. She said, I went no contact. He beat me up. Whoa. She said, and I was done. It's a game for them. Yeah. And see, he may be a malignant narcissist. You cannot trust a malignant narcissist, because the fact that you went NC, he may think that's he needs to take revenge. And I'm getting ready to do something called the branded supply. When the narcissist brands a supply, when you are dealing with a narcissist and you are dealing with a malignant narcissist, a psychopath, sociopathic narcissist, they're very calculative, and everything they do is intentional. And guess what? They're very patient. So you got to be wise, very wise. When you go NC, don't play with it. If you're not going to go NC and you're just walking away from the narcissist because you want to teach them a lesson, the game is going to backfire. You're not going to teach them a lesson, because the moment you come back, in the mind of the narcissist, they feel like you've forgiven them for everything they did. They feel like everything is on the up and up. And guess what they do? They start rolling. Why? Because we don't wipe the slate clean. No matter how I dogged them, no matter what I've done to them, they've totally forgiven me. That's why you have to hold them responsible. NC holds the narcissist responsible. And when the narcissist is held responsible, and because they don't want to take any blame, then you have to make sure that your no contact is just that. And when you go no contact, if you got children, if you have children with the narcissist, get a parenting plan. And it may not be in the best interest for the narcissist that have the children, but if the courts don't see what you see, and they deemed it necessary for the narcissist to see the child, maybe you can request supervised visits. That's why any damage, like she said, he beat me up, make sure you got a hard copy. in the office of the police department. Make sure you file a junction against that. Never let a narcissist beat you and you don't file a junction. That will work against you in court because you will say that they did things to you, but you never called the police. You never made a record of it. You never kept a log of it. You got to keep a log. You got to write down everything because the narcissist, remember, is intentional and they're methodical and they usually get a lawyer like themselves, just as low down as they are. So you got to be astute when you are dealing with them, and you know when you're coming to the end of your rope. You know when it's getting dangerous, it's getting malignant, to really stay there, and you have to use wisdom. Do I tell the narcissist I'm leaving? Would you tell a malignant narcissist that you're leaving and that narcissist think they're losing you? Because the first thing the narcissist is going to do is accuse you of an affair. They're not going to accuse you of being frustrated. They're not going to accuse you of not wanting to be with them because they're just low down. They're going to accuse you of having an affair. Why? Because the narcissist is cheating, a lot of them. And so if they are having an affair, a lot of times you will get accused of what the narcissist does. And a lot of time the narcissists end up telling off on themselves. And Callie says, plus, she said, plus careful lady. She said, they will stalk and play you. Yeah, file police reports, figure out how to hold them responsible. Be safe. Absolutely. Absolutely. You have to hold them responsible. You have to. Never get a narcissist, release a narcissist. If they're beating you, you have to file those reports. Listen to me, because those reports may be necessary. And if you don't file them, it may work against you with the children. You don't want the narcissist, if he can be abusive to the children and you don't file a junction and you are beaten up. And the best way to file a junction is when you have the evidence, because they will take pictures of the bruises and the marks and the scars that is on you. And a lot of times the narcissists ignore boundaries, so they do it again. And guess what? There's another report. And after a while, the police will ask you, do you want to go to safety? Then they'll get you in a place that is safe for you and the children if you need to get out of the house. But you have to use wisdom. Just don't get frustrated. Get resolution. Get answers. Don't stay in a situation that is damaging, harmful. It can even be deadly. You make sure that change is inevitable, and you make sure that you plan well and strategize well. And silence, if you don't have a plan, you don't have it together, then just be quiet. Just be quiet. Get a lawyer. Let the lawyer be your voice. Let the lawyer be your voice. If you talk too much, it can be very deadly for you and the children. Tiffany said, absolutely. Absolutely. Um, she said, I'm dealing with a malignant for sure. She said, I'm working on getting out. Yeah, Tiffany, I did discarding a narcissist, the dangers of discarding a narcissist. Go back and look at that video. Go back and look at that video. You got to be strategic. You got to plan. You have to plan. You have to make sure your phone isn't cloned. You got to make sure there's not cameras in the house that you don't know a thing about. You have to make sure your car has not been tracked, because the narcissist will go to any extreme to have all the information necessary about you. And they stalk, they find, and you probably finding, if your narcissist showing up in places that they should not be, then you know that your phone is probably cloned. They done tapped, bugged your vehicle, or there's cameras in the house and they're listening to every conversation that you're having. So they're knowing where you go. So be very limited in your conversation until you find out. Talk in codes. Get your friends, meet them at a library, meet them at a store. Have your phone off when you talk to them. Put your phone in the car and meet them in the store and talk to them and tell them that you will be communicating in codes, that you will not articulate like you normally would, but that you depend on them to pick up on certain things, especially if it's an endangerment to you and the children. You have to, you most certainly have to code your conversation, because the narcissist is very smart, very wise, and they're energized off of your misfortune. It gives them the energy. They look for that. They thrive on it. You say, how can someone love me? And they thrive on things hurting me, because NPD does that. The 9 traits of NPD. Check it out. Check out NPD. That's the core of them. That's the essence of them. And that's what they do. It doesn't matter what you say or what you want to happen. That's what the narcissist does. They do that. And they're using frustration as a weapon. And you're being frustrated all the time. You're being tired all the time. You're being drained all the time. It takes effort to do little things because you're being drained, and some of you still working, and you go to work with this, and you have to come home to babies. You have to come home to cook, to clean, to wash. You have to secure everything. Some of you are paying bills. Some narcissists are very good at handling the business aspect, so they will pay the bills. And those of you who have a narcissist that on top of all of that, at least they pay the bills, that is such a blessing, because it would be terrible to go through such hellaciousness every single day and still have them irresponsible financially, where you are the carrier of the family, but they don't want to give you the control. They don't want to give you the responsibility, but yet you're walking in the responsibility, but they want total control. Callie said, yeah. She said, my bad. She said, was stating, I am divorcing him. He waited until I was asleep. Hmm. Have a plan financially that my issues, I thought. She said, and I couldn't help him. She said, big mistake. Surround yourself with people that help you. Absolutely, you have to surround yourself with people. But when you are with the narcissist, notice their relationship with the narcissist. Notice how close they're with the narcissist, because what the narcissist does, he will pull your core group in. The narcissist is an expert. The narcissist is an expert in isolation. So the narcissist will isolate you. And when the narcissist isolate you, he controls you. And then he start to monitor your movement in your external. He start to monitor who you talk to, where you go, how long you go, what you bring back to the house, what you leave out to the house with. He'll look at your dress. And if you come back, he said, why is your blouse like that? And you're like, my blouse was like this when I left. He said, no, your blouse was like this, because I know they notice everything. They accuse you of coming back with the blouse inside out. The narcissists know that it's not true. But remember, frustration is now being a weapon, and they're weaponizing that frustration. And so they make it seem like you're lying. They make it seem like you're cheating. And what this does is, this is not only causing you to be frustrated, but it's causing you to be confused. And after a while, you're out of touch with what reality is, because you're constantly hearing his accusation, and he's constantly, or she's constantly accusing you, until sometime you think, well, is that true? It must be. No, it's not. It's not true. They will say anything for you to join with them. And when you start condemning yourself, you start losing touch with reality. You start allowing them to gaslight you, and then gaslighting is so frustrated, because you know that 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 you said certain things and they deny it. You put certain things down, it's not there. You did certain business, it's not there, because the narcissist, that's the game they play, and they have to keep the main supply frustrated so they can do what they do. Because once you get clarity, the narcissists know when clarity comes, 9 times out of 10, you're going to go NC. You're going to go no contact. You're going to go no contact for the safety of your mind, for your intellectual prowessness, so you can be clear about what's going on and not confused with what's happening. And that's what the narcissist does. They master your frustration. And if you notice, you can tell when they're using frustration because it's all around them. It's all around them. And guess what? It's coming from them. And then we hear Laveda say, she said, I went no contact since the narc said that he would terminate his rights, ooh, if I filed for child support. Hmm. He would terminate his rights if I filed for child support. He said, she said, I felt bad and let my child call him, but he won't answer on purpose. She said, I'm going back to no contact for good. Yeah, he's hurting you on purpose. He don't care about using that child. Another video, the competition of the children against the narcissist. The narcissist don't care who it is. If you got an animal and that animal really love you, and that narcissist feel that the animal is in their way and that animal is taking um, attention away from them, the narcissist can be deadly. They can be very harmful to that animal because nothing takes the attention of the narcissist. No child, no mother, no job, no money, nothing takes away from the narcissist because the grandiosity and the privileged mindset, they feel that they should be first. The narcissists don't even want God in your life first. The narcissists want to be first and they want everything else to come under wraps, which is definitely not going to happen. And then here we got Isabel. Hello there, Isabel. How are you? She said, your videos are so helpful. Thank you. She said, doing so much good. She said, Apostle, she said, appreciate it. She said, no contact now with two narcs, ex-friend. Mind blowing. Oh, I can only imagine. Hello, Ernestine. Good to see you up. She said, I will say this now. In a new state, these predators are out there. Don't date right away. Be careful. Get to know and love yourself. Oh boy, that is an understatement. Kylie, that is an understatement. There are classes that older men have got younger men into, and they teach them how to be a narcissist. They teach them how to find high quality, high value women, or teach them to get women with the standards and the values that the narcissists want and to break them down. They got classes, they call them master classes for narcissists, and they got books. They're writing books to teach men how to hurt you. And a lot of time men are dealing with misogamy, and misogamy is the hatred of women because they done had a female somewhere in their life that took control, damaged them, hurt them. And so now they're taking it out on all women, and they make women pay. So women, when you're out there dating, be very wise when you're dating. Be very selective. Have some standards. Don't let those standards down. If they don't meet those standards, don't feel guilty. You just do what you need to do. That's why you got to feel yourself. You got to be whole within yourself because a whole person will look for a whole person. A person who have holes in their life will end up with a person who have holes in their life. And this is Orchard. She said, yep, my ex gave my daughter money to fly and see her best friend. Then he dropped contact completely. It hurt me that he would do that to his own child. Yeah. And that they get your hopes up. See, you know that you now you see what I mean about frustration. Yeah, it gets your hopes very high, and you think, okay, finally there may be a chance for him, and then they go and see. So she's been discarded. He discarded her. He set her up for the discard. And he want that discard to hurt. So he maximized something she want and then he just drop it. He don't even close the door. He walks out the door, but he leaves the door open. Hello, Darlene. How are you? She said 17 months, no contact. She said, I don't even think about the person. She said, once I came out of the fog and learn from Apostle Helen how to get free. She said, I got free and became free from mental confusion. Yay! That's what I'm talking about. I'm proud of you, girl. And yeah, um, and let me see. And what else do we have here? Isabel said, do they know what they're doing? Yes, they do. She said, and how aware are they? I think so. She said, they have a playbook, right? They have several playbooks. And many of them know the young narcissists may be struggling with themselves because they know even from a child, they know that when they do certain things, that people can be vulnerable to them, that once they show up in a situation, the situation change. It takes on a different atmosphere when they show up, and they start noticing that when they show up, they start taking control. They start controlling others, that people start yielding to them. So growing up as a child, growing up as a teenager, by the time they get in their adulthood, they pretty much know because they demonstrated it at school, they demonstrated it on the playgrounds, they demonstrated it with their peers, and now they know that they have this source of power over people and that people respect them and that they hold people sometime against their will and that people can't lose them easy and they get what they want. So, yes, ma'am. A lot of them do, and they know that in their early 20s or teenage years because they don't have enough experience in relationship with playgrounds and at school. Okay, how many of you have Clubhouse? If you have Clubhouse, I want you to say me. How many of you have Clubhouse? If you have Clubhouse, say me. If you have Clubhouse, if you have Clubhouse, say me. I wanted to do 45 minutes to an hour here, and then I wanted to go on Clubhouse so we can literally hear you. So Orchard is the Orchid is the only one that have Clubhouse. Her and Danielle. Hello there. I think it's Maria, right? Is it Maria? Okay, so we got three. Who else have Clubhouse? Hello, Enlightened Godlets. How are you? She said that's just horrible, but that's what the narcissist does. You know, okay, she has Clubhouse. So many of you have Clubhouse. So we're going to do another 15 to 20 minutes here. And then Danielle, we're going to trick her over to Clubhouse. Ernestine has it too. She said, how do you get Clubhouse? You usually, someone, I think you can walk in there now, that you can come on. I am Helen Sattler, Destiny Helper. So I want you, Isabel, to see if you can get on. You used to have to get an invitation, but I think things are changed. Danielle, you can check into that for me. I think things are changed, but I think we have enough where we can go on Clubhouse and that way we can hear one another. I want us to hear one another. Many times we're going through things, and your best defense is each other because most people don't know or don't think it's possible for you to go through and endure everything that you're enduring. And you are enduring this, you're fighting this, you're going through with this. And so other people, when they hear that, they think I'm not crazy. And a lot of times we have gotten that on this program, on this platform, where people say, when I came on live, I realized I'm not the only one. I realized there's nothing wrong with me, that I'm sane. And they can start strategizing, getting themselves together because of you, because of your story, because of your testament. So tell your story and don't be afraid to tell your story. Don't be ashamed to tell your story. Don't allow the narcissist to frustrate you into a corner where you're in a place that's too small for you and you cannot stretch out in your decision. You cannot stretch out in your thoughts. You cannot stretch out in your ideas, and you start to slowly lose yourself, which is even more frustrating because once you give up yourself, you usually give up your mind. And that's when the fall come in. And like the young lady say, she was fogged, but she stayed away. She said, once I left, I left. So we got enough. We got 15 minutes. Let's do 15 minutes, uh, moderator, and then we'll go to Clubhouse. We'll switch over to Clubhouse. And so the narcissist master frustration. They weaponize frustration. And when they pull it out, it's intentional. And usually when they utilize frustration against you, you're gaining momentum. You're gaining strength. You are being empowered. And when you get empowered, it disempowers the narcissist. It frustrates the narcissist. It weakens the narcissist because if they're not in control, then they feel like something has been taken away from them, snatched away from them, and it's a position of authority. And when you go in authority and you say, I'm done with this, I will not permit this anymore, I will not agree with your foolishness against me, then it frustrates the narcissist. When the narcissists get frustrated based on the type narcissist that they are, like a malignant narcissist, very dangerous. Sociopath, psychopath, obviously the psychopath, but the covert narcissist will start to scheme. They will start to do undercurrents. They will start. It's almost like a magician. The hands is quicker than the eyes, so they start to do everything. But what the covert narcissists do will always sucker the blame back to you. Most of them do that, but it's undercurrent with the covert narcissist. It can be blatant with the overt narcissist or the malignant narcissist. The somatic narcissist cannot stand anything that does not point to them because they are highly involved in imagery, classes, and things that denote status. They are very, very, very concerned with status. And so when you are with these different type narcissists, know the narcissist that you're with. Don't dismiss the behavior. Know the behavior. If they got a history of being verbally abusive and then hit you and you went back and then hit you and you go back, then you know that can be a really tremendous situation if you discard. So go to my video, The Dangers of Discarding, because sometimes it's not the narcissist that's discard, it's the supply. When the supply's had enough, they're like, I'm done, I'm out here. I don't care what you do. Do whatever you got to do, but I'm out. And you want to make sure that you use wisdom in cases like this. Uh-huh. So Danielle, Isabel, check that out so we can get her on Clubhouse. Diana is me, so most of you got Clubhouse. Callie said that's what was. Sorry, guys, my alarm keeps going off. Got to remember to turn them off. She said that's what was hard for me. Kept making excuses mentally, addiction, etc. She said that's enabling codependent behavior on our part because we are surviving the abuse. Yeah, you're used to the abuse, and you're used to the forgiving, and you're used to the pleading. You're used to taking them back. No matter what, you take them back. They hoover you back in. They discard Hoover, discard Hoover, discard Hoover. And each time that they hoover you back in, whether there was an actuality in leaving or they discarded within, because sometimes they can do a home discard, a local discard. And that discard is not more extensive as a regular discard where they're gone for weeks or a couple of months or whatever, and they leave the door open. This discard is meaning to demean you because they need to traumatize you and then bond you to that trauma. And when you are trauma bonded, you seek the predator. You seek to be with the predator because the predator looks like a hero. The predator looks like absolute strength. And so you stay with the predator. You don't go for relief. And relief is at your fingertips. It's called decision making. You have to make decisions, especially if kids are involved and you think you're in danger by the narcissist. Uh, and Isabel said she said, the cover, the narc's phone number shows up on my phone without it ringing. What is she trying to track my phone? Could be you can take that to a agency and let them check your phone out. You may have a tracker, and there are trackers that are cloned. There are trackers that can record. Um, so I would check that out because no one's phone number should be automatically coming up if you did not access that number, if you're not trying to dial that number. So it can let you know that something is wrong, and there's a that they can do that. Sometimes they can add a chip, or sometimes they can put a program or a app on your phone that will clone your phone, let them know where you are every single minute, and so they never have to find you. They know where you are. And Darlene said this narcissist want you to be isolated. She said, I am going to download Clubhouse. Oh, okay, great. Yes, please do that. She said, if you let them know they're thinking about leaving them, they're going to be 5 steps ahead of you. Stay silent. Absolutely. And they can feel you, they can sense you. Frustration is a beacon. Frustration is a frequency. The narcissist knows that frequency. You got to remember they got so many holes in their life. They have rejection issues, abandonment issues, fear issues, insecurity issues, traumatized. And so they got just as many issues as a supply. But because they control and because they dominate, they look like the stronger force. And the reason they're dominate is because the insecurity and the feels that fears, that orphan spirit being with them, and that spirit that say that you're inferior when they make themselves superior, and that spirit that say you're going to be abandoned, they're going to leave you, or you're going to be rejected. A narcissist cannot stand rejection. How you going to reject it when I'm better, I'm supreme? So how you going to reject supremacists? So it's the narcissist mind think different from a regular mindset. She said they love bomb you when they get you back. It's a cycle. Oh, it's pure hell. It's pure hell. Um, Isabel says, if you have a phone service through your computer. Oh, okay. She's giving her some directions here. Hello there, melanated. How are you? Uh, she said the narc keep making fake profiles to contact me. She said I never knew about that. Yeah, phishing. Oh, they will fish you out, and they will, and they will get you to befriend them. And when you befriend that person, and they will make up a whole Facebook, a whole Instagram account with that person, and none of the information is volatile or valid. And so you start communicating, they'll start communicating like a friend. They got an app where you can talk with someone and you see this person's face, and the face is moving and talking, but that's not them. They transfer their face onto another face. And that's who you're seeing. Because if you didn't see the narcissist on video, you will start to suspect that something is wrong. So, in order for the narcissist to let you see them and they are not that person, they have an app that will put their face anywhere. Their mouth will move with that person. They can give them background. You have to be careful nowadays. uh Callie said, um have your electronics checked by Apple? Absolutely. She said, I don't have Clubhouse. I want to get it. Okay. And you can download that. Download it. And when you download it, I think it don't take the steps that you used to take. Clubhouse has made it even easier. It used to be only for iPhones, but now you can have other phones, Androids can get on there. So why don't you just download it? And if necessary, you can write me or Danielle, have them to write you also, and we'll make sure you get a request. But I don't think you have to. I think you can just walk in there now. She said, I get, Isabel said, I'll try to get it through my computer. Okay. Um, Melanated said, I had to block those fake profiles. One I caught on, once she caught on, and she knew it was him. Absolutely. Because he start tracking you. Next thing you know, he'll start showing up in places he has no business. And you'll wonder how he knew and he got that information from you, and you don't know that it's him that you're talking to. She said once you download, you can walk in without an invitation. Oh, okay. So download it. Danielle said that you can walk in there without an invitation, which is good. So that means that you can just join us. She said, I'm downloading Clubhouse now. Okay, Melanated, let us know how that works so we can inform the others. So we can inform the others. So we have about 5 more minutes and then we're going to go Clubhouse. I'm telling you, this has been really, really awesome. And we're going to do Clubhouse with this topic. Yeah, we're going to do Clubhouse with this topic. Let me get the topic right now on the frustration. Why do narcissists weaponize frustration? That is going to be the title. We're going to continue this conversation with Clubhouse. There you go. Let me update that. And so, and she says, let's see what she says here. She says, sometimes these narcs are treacherous. Not sometimes. Hello, Mona Lee. How are you? Yeah, they can be very, very intentional. Very intentional. Narcissists hardly ever do anything without a plan because they hate surprises that's going to cause failures. So what they do, they want to make sure that they want to make sure that when they do things that it works because a narcissist cannot stand to lose. She's okay. Check your test. We send you. Okay. So we are getting ready to go on Clubhouse. Let me put this in here, 65. They're going to send you a code. You put that code into your phone or in the device that you want, and you can get on Clubhouse. So let me do this right here, guys. Okay. I want you to look under effective communication. Danielle, I need you to write this for me. Effective communication. That will always be my platform. Effective communication. And then you will see the topic that I am utilizing right now. Why the narcissist weaponize frustration. Why the narcissist weaponize frustration. That's the topic. And we're going to go as part 2. She said they really think they can own us. They do. They don't think they can. They think they do own you. Once the narcissist is with you, you are their property. And that's what they treat you like. If you think about it, they treat you just like property. Like when you put toaster in a toast, excuse me, toaster, you are not concerned about the toaster, about how it feels. You only concerned that that toaster toast that bread or bagel or whatever you put in there. That's the way the narcissist is. They're not concerned about you as long as you fulfill their needs. Whatever they put into you, they want you to respond according the way they expect for you to respond. So the topic would be, why does the narcissist weaponize frustration? Yeah. So we are getting ready to go on Clubhouse. So I want to make sure that I'm already on. Why does the narcissist weaponize? There you go. Frustration. There you go. So I'm sure everybody done downloaded what they need to download. Why does the narcissist weaponize frustration? think I used too many words, so I won't be able to. We'll say, why does the narcissist weaponize? But you know, it's frustration. Okay, so let me do Danielle. She is my moderator. There you go. So, all right, guys, we are ready to go. Okay, there we go. All right, so we're going on. So I'm gonna need for those of you to come over to come on over to Clubhouse. There you go, y'all. You can start coming. Come on over, Pamela, Monique. How are you? Thank you for joining us on Clubhouse. We got the rest of the family that are coming over to Clubhouse. There you go, guys. Just come on over. Hello there, Maria. I see you came on over. Come on over. I'm looking for the rest of you to come over. We are talking about why the narcissist weaponize. And here we go. There you go. There you go. So let's pull the others over. So what I'll do, I'll stay on YouTube and I'll stay talk on Clubhouse. So we can hear. Can y'all hear me here? Am I clear, Danielle? Danielle, can you hear me? On Clubhouse?
Yes, ma'am. You are sounding perfect.
Perfect. And see, one thing that the narcissist does, and like we were saying, frustration brings you to a where you reactive. You're not responding. You don't think. You have an outburst, and they don't stop. They keep pushing those triggers, pushing those triggers, pushing those triggers, pushing those triggers until they get you totally frustrated. Hello there, Layla. How are you? Thank you for joining us on Clubhouse. Now, those of you who are not following me, please follow me. Follow me. Go up to those buttons and push the my picture. There you go. And you can follow me. And that way, whenever I come on, you will be notified. And one thing I like about Clubhouse, it gives us an opportunity to personalize the forum where we can hear you. We can hear your emotions behind what you went through. We can hear your expression. And sometimes it becomes a heart to heart conversation. And so when you are frustrated with the narcissist, now at the bottom of this screen is a hand raising. You see a hand and a tablet. If there's anything you want to say, if there's any question you have, push that hand raising and the moderator will bring you up on the platform so that you can speak. There you go. Okay, we got Candace. Where is Candace? She have something she want to say. The moderator will bring Candace up. There you go, Candace.
Hello, hello.
Okay.
Good night, good morning, everyone.
Amen. Okay, hold on, Candace. Mute your phone, and then I'm gonna call you, and then we can unmute it. Okay. Uh, Frustration will begin to lock you in a mold of depravity where you will underplay yourself, underoperate yourself, and you will only operate out of what you think pleases the narcissist. So you become a person pleaser, and you will live that whole relationship like that, which is going to frustrate you, which is going to limit you, which is going to intimidate you, which eventually will hide you where you don't exist and you are a walking shell. And so right now we're going to have she says speak with, yeah, we're going to have Candace. Candace, would you unmute your phone and please feel free?
Amen. Hi, everyone. What you said, Pastor Sadler, is so true. I had a very dark experience over the last, I would say, well, things started to change in 2018. This is with a sister friend, a so-called sister friend, who I did not understand or know that not only is she a narcissist, but she's a sociopath. I mean, I as a nurse, I can't diagnose, but she fits all of the criteria of of a narcissist and a sociopath. I mean, she's diabolical, and she is in the church, so she's highly religious. Okay, we had a 25-year friendship, and I thought that she was a spiritual sister to me, as well as a best friend. I didn't find out what her motives were until December of 2019. And she made my life, I allowed her to make my life a living hell because I didn't know what I was fighting against. I could discern that I was fighting, and she would be in my presence, and I'd be like, I feel like I'm fighting spiritually, but I don't know what I'm fighting. It was her all the time. Okay.
So was it that she was a narc, or do you think she was using some form of the dark arts?
Well, she was using, I think she was using witchcraft because she was very manipulative and controlling. She was the great manipulator. Now, do I think she was like into like a bona fide witchcraft like Santeria or something like that? I don't think so. I think she just was highly religious, highly manipulative, highly controlling. She had the Jezebel spirit, which is a narcissist spirit. So, and she had a very strong religious spirit, very strong.
And she was a friend.
Well, she was an enemy, but I was under the impression that she was a friend.
That she was a friend. Okay. And so what happened when you found out her intent? So how much did that frustrate you?
I became muted. I was afraid to verbalize how I was feeling because I was always misunderstood. I was a people pleaser because of the childhood that I grew up in, and that's why she targeted me. Also, when I became a registered nurse, she was just perpetrating a fraud in the sense that she was like, "Oh, I'm so happy for you," but she was very, very jealous. Like she would say, "Well, you know, I could have went to school for nursing," and I'm like, you're 50 years old now. I mean, yes, you could go to school for nursing at 50. That's fine, but you haven't made any steps to do it. You're stuck. You've been stuck for 25 years. If you could have been a nurse, you would have been a nurse by now. So, lots of competition, lots of, I need this, playing the victim. I need that. Could you help me? So
do you find that, have you discarded her and went no contact?
Yes.
Okay, and how long has that been?
I'm sorry?
How long has that been?
That has been about 2 years now.
Okay, and see, you deal with narcissists through association, and it can be just as tremendous because it's always a one. Okay, mute your phone, princess, for me. It's always a one-sided relationship. And you see, she showed displayed jealousies, she displayed future faking, she displayed deception, and it didn't matter what Candace would do, she will always compete against her because the narcissist has to be in the front. They cannot be alongside of you or behind you. They have to be in the front because remember, in the narcissist's eyes, you can be married to a narcissist and the narcissist will marry you. And I want you to look up for that video, the difference between the narcissistic relationship and a regular relationship, because I want you to see the speed of how the narcissists operate. And I may even do the video right after this. It won't be a live video, but it'll be a video. Check that out. And when you are with a narcissist, they move quick, and even in relationship. So, Candy, did you find that this relationship matriculate in a very expeditious way?
Are you asking if it went fast?
Yes.
Like, did it develop fast?
Yes.
Um, no, it didn't develop fast. What happened was, I'm a very empathic person, meaning you know, I'm a highly sensitive person.
Absolutely.
So someone is going through something, like I perceive things that regular people don't perceive.
Right. I'm a super empath, so I understand.
Exactly. So she was going through a very hard time,
Mm.
and she lost a lot. And I heard God tell me, she's yours. For me to like look out for her and be supportive of her, because she was broken. And I wasn't a nurse at that time. And I was just a lost teenager. She's 10 years older than me. And I just turned 50 on last Friday. Mm-hmm. So, the relationship was it took decades for us to really be close. But looking back in hindsight, I could see how, people would look at me sideways because I had the revelation. She was telling people about me, negative things about me. And then she would come back to me and say, well, they don't like you because A, B, and C. And I'm like, but I never did anything to them. I was a teenager looking for external validation and love and being accepted from man instead of God. That's where my problem started. And then I was looking for that in her. And you should never do that in people. So she targeted me because of my people pleasing background. And then when I became a nurse, a few years after that, she was like, "Oh, I'm surprised she even made something out of herself." And she was inwardly, covertly jealous.
Absolutely.
And, when I would tell her things, she would be very critical, very judgmental, because she wasn't born in the church. Mm-hmm. And so I didn't tell her anything after a while. She's highly manipulative, highly controlling. What changed the whole scenario, because I was doing everything gladly, because she was a fun person to be around. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed her company. Mm-hmm. But it was a one-sided relationship because she was broke, and I wasn't. Even when I, was a secretary, I wasn't broke. Mm-hmm. And, when you are around people who are that broke, they are manipulators. But she's sociopathic, but she won't do something that makes her outwardly look bad because she is highly religious. So she'll be scheming and using other people and getting flying monkeys. So I kept on pushing my emotions down. I was there for the flying monkey too. She turned on me too. Until one day I just snapped and I almost literally threw this girl down a flight of marble stairs.
See?
It was a flying monkey, but it was the sociopath / narcissist who was telling her things about me to cause her to act out. I didn't know what I was doing because I blacked out.
See, and what happened is that's what I'm talking about on the video. When the narcissist wants you to be reactionary instead of responding, and that's what she got you to do. She got you to react out of frustration. And when you react, you empowered her because that's what she desired.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm sure that that was a lesson learned. And thank you so much, Candace, for that story. Awesome
You're
story.
welcome.
And it definitely goes with what we're talking about being frustrated. And remember, the narcissist always wants you to react. So the narcissist will do something specifically against you just so you can react, because what they want is for you to look wrong to other people and for them to look right, because the narcissists know that they're not going to hold their mask very long, and they're going to become reactionary in a situation. And so before they do it, they want you to do it.
Exactly. She was the type to throw the stone and hide her hand. And she kept on poking the bear, poking the bear, poking the bear, because I was subservient to her. Not that I, was weak. I like helping people. I'm a giver. And, I just was not using wisdom because I didn't pick up that she was using me. Did not pick it
Absolutely.
up. So, it is definitely it's a learning lesson, but I'm still in my process of healing. And I don't want to give, I prayed about this and I asked God, I'm done with giving power to these evildoers. They're evildoers. I'm done with
Absolutely.
it. So I'm
Absolutely.
still in my process of healing. Thank you so much for having me speak.
You are so welcome. And you know what? The one thing about it, the narcissists choose, a lot of time you think you choose the narcissist, but the narcissists choose you, because if you don't fit what they need you to fit, and they can tell internally when you're hurting. There are some narcissists that are up for the challenge. When they think that you're strong, the narcissist will get the challenge of breaking you down.
She succeeded, but now I'm greater than ever. I mean, I had a hereditary disorder, the same kidney disorder that the NBA player um, Alonzo Mourning had. Very, very genetic on my side. My ex pastor had asked if she could stay with me, and I said yes because I was silly and I did not know any better at the time. The needs were stable when she moved in because she was selling a house.
Okay.
And after that, when she left, I ended up in stage 5 kidney failure.
But see,
And,
do you
you know,
do you listen to the videos a lot
which videos?
of narcissists?
Yes, I do.
Okay, because I want you to definitely continue to listen to those videos, because there's healing in the videos. And the more you listen to them, the more healing has an opportunity, especially to heal your heart, because it seems that now that there has been a pattern now to be attracted to, and you seem to have your narcissist come through the religious way.
Yeah, but I've had them through relationships with men too. And I
Okay.
have family members that are narcissistic as well. It's
Okay.
different levels of narcissism that they are, but most of them are, most of them are narcissists, but some of them are sociopaths.
Oh, okay, and that's even dangerous. Okay, well, that you what you got to do is demagnetize your frequency where you no longer draw them. And usually, when you raise up in the family, you have that frequency embedded because you got it through birth and being
Yeah.
born into a house where the narcissists are. You learn how to attract them, and you don't even know that's what you're doing. So we once again we thank Candace. Candace, thank you so much for your story. We really appreciate you. And we have right now, is that Maria?
It's Maria.
Maria. Maria, did you have a question or did you have a comment?
Um, my comment was as far as getting frustrated, the frustration.
Mm-hmm.
Why I didn't understand it until I left my now ex-husband. I was with him for 15 years,
Mm-hmm.
and he wasn't. What I realize now, he wasn't the first narcissist. I can admit that most of the men I dated or had relationships with were narcissists. Um, I did grow up in the church. My family was always in church.
Mm-hmm.
As far as my family background, people pleasing, not really sticking up for yourself.
Mm-hmm.
So I realize now that I really think narcissists can smell, literally smell a person's fear or their doubt, any insecurity that they might have, and I think that they play into the person's insecurity as far as called, it may look like boosting them up, but it's really like a setup. But it's the only time that I can remember my ex-husband. We decided to end our marriage. When I discovered he was a narcissist, I was literally laying in the bed, and I was on YouTube. I was recovering from knee surgery,
Mm-hmm.
and I was watching something on YouTube. Next thing I know, something popped up about narcissism, and I was like, what's that? And 3 hours later, I was in tears and crying, and I was just like, I can't even get up and leave if I wanted to because I had knee surgery. So, um,
But you,
and
but that's not something that once you learn about what you deal with, then you strategize your leaving. You just don't leave because sometimes these people can be very dangerous, Maria, which I know you know.
oh yes, when I finally did leave, which was on June June 1st, no, June the 2nd, 2018, it was very, um, it was very traumatizing.
Okay.
I've seen him, uh, this was the first time he went into a rage, and I just actually watched him, and, um, I got very afraid when I watched him, and I looked at his eyes, and his eyes changed, and during that time, it was just like everything within me, the spirit said, go now, and that's what I did. But prior to that, I was in therapy. I was going to a therapist, and I did plan how I was going to leave.
Mm-hmm.
We made an agreement to be cordial with one another, and because I needed to leave, my leave date was July 15th, and not June the 2nd. So, um,
Do y'all have
yeah.
any children together?
Oh no, we don't have any children together. We
Okay.
finally, I I left in 2018. Um, it was very, like I said, I never seen him rage out like that before. It was my first time observing him,
Okay.
and we got into an argument about money, and he said he had spent all his money, and we're not going to even talk about the financial ruin when you're with the
Okay.
narcissist, and
Let me
that's what
say
happened.
right. Let me say this. Because this is a forum where I can't engage in the whole story, but I could say this. The one good thing that you had is that you didn't have any children. You could leave and go no contact and stay no contact. But and how long were you with him?
I was with him from 2003 to 2018.
Oh, you was with him a while. Do you
A
know?
while.
But do you know for every 3 months you with a narcissist, the average healing or recovery zone is 2 years
Really?
for every 3 months. And the reason they do that
Wow.
because the narcissists affect you. I on here, we have Loria who said, "Oh my gosh," she said, "Yes, they are. They enjoy frustrating the total situation." Then we have Monafi who say their whole mission is to break you down, and that's the narcissist. Every relationship the narcissists get, their goal is to break you down. But they start off because you have what they need. They need love. They don't have love where they can love you freely. So they want your love. And then they bring you over to where they are. And once they get you over to where they are, they no longer want to be there.
Okay. And
go
I
ahead.
was over where he was. I did do a 2-year no contact. The only reason we started speaking to each other was to get a divorce. That was it.
Okay, but you don't have to do that. That's what you're paying your lawyers for. You don't need to voice to him. You can voice to your lawyer. When you go NC, you have to go NC.
Oh, I understand. I understand it now.
Yeah. Yeah, when you go NC, you go NC because you got to remember the narcissist is not only a relationship. The narcissist is a physiology. The narcissist affect you physically, chemically, psychologically, emotionally. They affect your whole body. Hello, Layla. How are you?
Hi, good evening.
Hold on, Layla, because we're talking to Maria.
Okay. Yes, yes.
So, Maria, I'm glad that you got an opportunity to go NC, but what needs to happen is you keep recovering, you keep healing, because there was a long time to be with someone.
It was a very long time, and it was, to be honest with you, I was with him that long, but I met him when I'm 47 now. I met him when I was 18 years old in college.
Okay.
So I've known him for a very long time.
Absolutely. And that's why I was saying the recovery. You know, many people think we just do videos, but those videos are healing agents and they help you because awareness bring opportunity for wholeness. That was a long time to be with someone. That was a long time to suffer abuse. That was a long time to be traumatized. And your body is still probably recovering from some of that.
I would say my body is still recovering, and wow, I was sick. When I was with him, I can tell you one time I was having a panic attack, and he was taking me to the hospital and arguing with me while I'm having a panic attack. I just couldn't breathe, and my heart was accelerating. And while he was driving, I noticed that he had like a smirk on his face. I didn't say anything about it, but it was just something I would. It's so much stuff that happened.
But you know what? That it's narcissist. It's NPD. Mostly,
yes, it is.
Most of the people on here have experienced what you've experienced in some form, and if they didn't, they know somebody or their family member. So you know what? It's gonna take. The longer you were with him, it's gonna take healing, and you're probably still recovering. I mean, it's only been since 2018.
Right.
Yes, so
I'm still recovering.
Absolutely. And the more information you get, and so now the fog is leaving where you can get hindsight, which is 2020. You can see the damage that is done. You can see even their intent. Now you look back on that situation, you go into the hospital, you have a panic attack, your body's affected, and he's there smirking. Why? Because he needs the frustration. He needs you in the condition that you are. And the narcissist, the more deplorable you are, the happy the narcissist is. And then we have Mona Fee say, yeah, they have eyes that would turn straight evil like no one is there. Absolutely. And that's the narcissistic stare. Then we got, hold on, baby. And then Kylie said, yes, she said, thank you. She said, for we attract them usually goes back to the mother. She said, and I was raised by grandparents, never a parent. Wow. And so sometimes you look for love. Willie Nelson said in all the wrong places, you know, but what you didn't receive, you will start to hunt for. That's true.
That's true. But yes, I did see his eyes go dark, and when he started arguing, he was butt naked, and his eyes, I saw his body turn red, and his eyes went black, and I was just like, this is not him. And that was the first time me observing that. And I left. And when I came back several hours later with the police. I have tried to leave, and there were times where I'm packing up my stuff. He pulling my stuff out. He has stopped me from leaving by blocking the door or holding me so tight till I couldn't move. And when I came back to get my things, I had the police with me.
Absolutely.
And I did see that narcissistic stare. It was. I did glance at him while I was packing my stuff, and he could not do a thing.
Absolutely. Well, you know what, Maria, we thank you for your story. It's always a blessing to see what people go
Thank you.
through. Yeah. Because sometimes people go through so much, especially with the narcissist, it can be unbelievable. And so when you hear somebody else's story, it just gives you hope that you are sane and you are not crazy,
Yes.
especially when everybody accuse you of being crazy. Thank you so much, Maria. God bless you.
Thank you, Pastor Sally.
All right. And then we have Layla. Hello, Layla. How are you?
Hi, good evening. I'm well. I'm glad I was able to catch your room before I go to sleep.
Absolutely.
Is it okay if I ask a question? It's
Sure, please.
I'm on the opposite end. Well, no, sorry, kind of different situation than Maria. I am going through a divorce, and I have a young baby. He's almost one. And I heard you talking about like going no contact, and I can't because we have the baby, and he finds ways to try to get me to communicate with him, and he makes it as if it's about the baby, but that's basically his way of opening a door and then trying to ask, more questions or engage. And I usually don't, take the bait, but I'm a little nervous about, like when we do get to court, if he's going to be able to portray me as withholding information from him, about our son, or just not communicating.
Have you been making a log?
Have I what?
Have you made a log when you talk to
Yes.
him? Okay, your log, your emails, answering machine, the messages he left on your answering services. This can be hardcore evidence because he could try to take your son, and if he have evidence that you are unstable, that's what he's going to go for.
Yeah, he doesn't have. I mean, he's trying to get something to use against me. He doesn't have anything against me, but I think he's trying to make it as if I'm withholding, his son from him. That I'm not allowing him to have access to him. He thinks that if I'm not, reaching out to him to say, oh, do you want to FaceTime with our son? Um, like it's my, like he tries to make it as if everything is my responsibility.
But that's the narcissistic way. You don't have to be concerned about that. You have to keep a log because you are separated and you don't have to do that. You don't have to run him down to run after his son. Every time he calls, you can log that he called. Every time he doesn't call, don't make it your fault because that's the way he's trying to just stay in contact with your life. And see, you're not going no contact. The only time you need to deal with him, you get a parenting plan. And you get that parenting plan. When he want to see his son, until you get a parenting plan, you can't stop him. You just want to make sure he doesn't abduct his son.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So you can say you feel uncomfortable with that and you need a parenting plan in place in order for that to happen. The course will understand that, but you're not obligated to talk to him. Like y'all got a relationship. You can stay NC except when it comes to the children, except when the parenting plan, what the parenting plan states, that's what you do. And you don't have to do anything more.
So then, what do you do in the interim before, like, because I've been trying to petition the court for pre-decree relief, but our court hearing keeps getting postponed. So
you
right
keep
now,
doing it. You keep doing it. You keep doing it, and when he asks to see his son, you got to let him see him.
All the time, anytime.
No, he can't come to you anytime. You schedule him,
Mm-hmm.
and you make a schedule because y'all not together. And see, he's not scheduling your son. He knows the effects he have on you. And if he gets you
Right.
around him, that spirit of persuasion, you will start to reminisce. And when you start to reminisce, all of those oxytocin, all of that will start to come back up again. And the next thing you know, you'll find yourself ruminating. You're thinking about him. And usually when you do that, you ain't gonna think about the bad times. You're gonna think about the good times. And the next thing you know, you're talking a little bit more. And before you know it, you back into what you were into.
Yeah, I don't think so because he has totally bailed, financially, and he's just made this whole motherhood experience very challenging because he left at whenever the baby was 5 months old, and I'm here in Hawaii without friends and family, and I can't travel unless he agrees to it, and he won't agree to it, and so he's dropped me off car insurance. He's done so much to sabotage and show that he guess he feels like he's in control. So no, I'm not reminiscing on anything, and I have no desire to rekindle
Okay, but then you
anything.
got to take more responsibility and more authority in your life. Just because you got a child don't mean you're gonna be popping up at my house all day, calling me all day, texting. No, this is what you're gonna do. This day you can come, this time you can come, or this time you can see him. That's it. Or you can say, I don't feel comfortable with you taking him until we get a parenting plan. So we're going to have you can come to my house and this person is going to be there with us. You can have supervision. You keep a note of everything. If you can, it's good to have cameras in the house.
No, he can't. He's not going to come to the house because he's made it as if he's uncomfortable being here. So I told him it's not in either of our best interests for him to
Okay, then
come
you
here.
you you got you already in a progressive state. Then you don't have to be concerned.
Yes.
I don't even see why you can be concerned, because he can
I,
say he can say a lot of stuff, but he
uh-huh.
is going to show where he didn't make effort because he won't even come to the house.
Right, right,
So that's going to work against him, not you.
right. Well, it's a different circumstances because he's a pilot
I don't
based
care
out
what
of
he is.
Texas.
It doesn't matter.
So well, he's only here half the month, and when he is here, he does try to demand that he sees the baby every day that he's here. When he is here,
Yeah,
you
but
know,
he don't have to see that baby every day. You can still
see.
make plans because you still got a life, and he has
That's
to
yeah.
go.
That
Yeah,
that's the part right there where I want to have confidence that I can do that and it not have any negative
it's not
consequences
going to
when we
have
get to
negative
court.
content. It won't. You just got to keep your log. There is
Okay.
a narcissist specialist, but she's a lawyer. Her name is Rebecca Zun, Zun.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to access her, and then Dr. Carmen Bryan. Do you know her?
Yes. Yeah. I follow her. That's how I heard about you.
Okay, Dr. Carmen Bryant is very good. These are people who went through this. And I went through with her when she had to fight in court. And
Mm-hmm.
Rebecca Zahn is a lawyer. She's the one fighting for you. So she is really good. But what I'm telling you, Layla, is you don't have to surrender to the whims of this man.
I don't want to.
Right.
You said I'm sorry. Can you spell Rebecca's last name again?
Yeah, I think it's Zun. It's
Okay.
either Zung or Zun.
Okay.
And Aiden Toon say we must destigmatize and humanize NPD. We must not. I think we can't humanize them because they act out of the prospect of humanity. They don't. Their lack of caring, and I don't. Um, I know all things are possible with God, so I never um, dissuade from an impossibility when we're dealing with God. All things are possible with God. I believe that. And I know what the medical journals say, but dealing with NPD for over 37 years, usually When they change, they don't stay to change. Even if they get therapy, they, because that is a personality disorder, they have to give themselves total. If they become Christians, they have to be Christians for real. But when they display all of the anger and all of the bad behavior, it's not going to curtail to change. And so NPD, most of them feel comfortable with who they are, and they like who they are. So they don't see a reason for them to change. They only see a reason for you to change.
Right, right.
Hmm.
Thank you. Yeah, I just want to have the confidence in, like, in my decision making that it's going to be okay, and he's not going to
Okay,
be
who
able to
is
use me.
Aiden Tunes? I want to get them off because he's talking crazy right here. Let's remove him. There you go. I would like him just totally off. Like him totally blocked. Danielle, let's go to Aiden Tunes. Yeah, let's go and get him off because no one speak against our supply like this to justify what the narcissist does. Thank you so much, Layla. We really appreciate it. And then we have Tanika.
Thank you.
You are so welcome. Hello, Tanika. How are you?
Hello? Can you
Yes.
guys hear me?
Yes, ma'am. We can hear you.
No, you guys can hear me.
Yeah,
Oh
we
my
can
god.
hear you.
It's my first time on here, so I'm quite a little bit. I don't know, like if everybody, what it's fine.
We can
Okay.
hear you. We can hear every word you're saying.
Oh, okay. Um, I just wanted to say, to Layla, I'll be praying for her. I can hear in her voice. I just have a comment for her. I've been there. I think we've all been there. And I could just hear like just the pain and the freshness of it in her voice.
Mm-hmm.
It was just making me really emotional listening to her. Tell it, give us a testimony about what she was going through, and it was just bringing to my mind about how, like, trying to explain to family members what this is. They don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
To friends, they don't understand, and then her saying that she's all the way, she's not home, she's in another country, with no family members. I really feel for her going through something like this. You really need a support system. Really, it's really really hard. And being a new mom, she's a new mom. I have 4 kids. My kids are all adults. So
Absolutely.
I mean, I couldn't imagine. Well, I won't say I couldn't imagine. The first time, my first experience of dealing with a narcissist, I was 17. They didn't have YouTube. They didn't have all this, and that they have now. And I'm just so thankful that they have this stuff now. I just recently had a split from my ex, and he's a narcissist, and having issues with. I'm kind of all over the place, but I just wanted to say that for her. I remember being a young mom, but I didn't even know what it was. Why is this person attacking me? Why they're abusing me? All I'm trying to do is love the person. I work hard. I keep a clean house. I cook every day. I take care of myself. I do everything you're supposed to do when they say because I was a young mom, and I had moved from in the inner city to some more suburban area. Ended up getting myself pregnant. Whatever. Oh, yeah. The rest is history. The kids are grown now. They're doing great, but it's just hearing that. Oh my gosh! That was yeah. But what I wanted to talk about is how do you explain to people that never been through this what it is? Like, they don't understand why you keep talking about it, or what. They just seem to not be able to get it, no matter like how. I don't think that people can understand it unless they actually been through it. They can't even wrap their heads around what you're saying.
Because nobody believed that someone can be that evil. And those of us who went through it know that they can. And so most people don't have the experience, so they don't have the imagery, they can't identify with it. But it doesn't change your story, it doesn't change your experience. Because 9 times out of 10, someone will meet a narcissist because they are everywhere.
I feel like I don't think I've ever I was saying to my one girlfriend who does understand a little bit about this. I was explaining to her, and I don't think I've ever been in like as far as a relationship between a man and a woman, a true loving relationship. The three men that I dated seriously in my life, I feel like they all were narcissists. Every single one of them. That's and I, not like I know you can't diagnose people, but it's textbook. Everything that every I mean, like they say to look under like what is it, 9 things, and I think if it's 5 of them, if they check 5 of them, they check all 9 of them except one. He only checked 8, but the rest all 9. So there's like no doubt in my mind that that's what they are, and why the relationship drained me so much. There was like I lost so much weight. I was like down to like 90 something pounds. And that's when my last relationship, I was dealing with this person off and on. And his mom is a therapist. Um, I knew it was getting back into this cycle, and I did not know for 17 years that this man was just like my ex. But I just like through the discard and everything, how did I not know for 17 years that he never showed me that side of him. He always was just wonderful. 17 years, we was best friends, everything. I never knew that he was until extenuating circumstances brought all of it out, and like, oh my goodness, he was awful. His eyes turned black. It was just crazy. I was just like, me and him had discussed prior relationships that I had involved in my ex who was a narcissist, and we would talk about these things, and he never, he never showed that. Oh yeah, I'm that too. I'm capable of doing every single thing that you're talking about. Never. I just, it's crazy.
He was able to deceive, and probably you were so caught in the moment, a lot of things you probably dismissed because he can't.
Yeah, as I look back, I see it now, but as I look back on the 17 years, I'm like, okay, because everywhere I go, he had to go. He had to follow me everywhere I go. He had to call me nonstop. It was just, he had to be with me every 5 minutes. But to me, it was just like, oh, we just in love, and that's just how it's supposed to be. And friends of mine would say, like, oh, can you go anywhere? Can you go to the mall, anywhere without him being there? Like, he wouldn't even want to work because he wanted to be up underneath of me. He done quit jobs to be under. It was just really, really bad. Like everywhere I was at, any family function I was at, he had to be. Like it just he just had to be with me nonstop, and I didn't understand, what that was, and but I did, I am in therapy, and I found out like how how they keep getting me is because my therapist told me to find out, what is it that I was receiving, from these people that, initially that was making me get hooked to these people. And I realized that my mom, she never really, she never gave, me and my sister, she never gave us like praise. She never said, you're pretty. I was, a gifted child, straight A student all the time. She never said, you're smart, you're beautiful. She just didn't do that. She did all the basics and everything like that, but she didn't do those things. And that's how he gave me constant praise all the time. You're so smart, you're pretty, you're this, you're that. It's just like, when you think about it, like it's so strange that we get fooled with that, because it's just like it's not normal. It's not normal for a person to just constantly be praising you all the time and lift you up on a pedestal and idealizing you in that way. It's way too much. It's overkill. But at the time, before you go through all of this, you don't realize that that's just too much. That's not normal. It's not, So now I do know, like, I know that that's a trigger for me. That's how they usually get me with the compliments and the constantly flowers and gift giving and just all the. I don't know. It's like a whirlwind. I don't know, like how are we supposed to know the difference between a person that's truly courting you, truly cares for you, and a person that's, because they do, a lot of the things are so similar.
I'm getting ready to do a video, and I was saying that I may do it right after this. The difference between a regular relationship and a narcissist relationship. Tanika, I'm definitely going to do it after this. After listening to you, I'm definitely going to do it. But what needs to happen, you're going to have to demagnetize. And I'm glad that you're in therapy where she can get you to deal with you, to see those things that you think you lack on the inside of you and bring you to a place of comfortability with you where you know that you are all right.
Okay. Okay. Thanks so much. Yeah, I'm really, I'm getting a lot out of therapy and learning a lot about myself, and because I just feel like, I can't never go through this again. Like I just cannot. I can't do another round of this. Like I had like when they say that it makes your body sick. Oh my goodness, because I'm 44, and in my family, the women they start menopause early, so I'm perimenopausal. My thyroid, I'm having right now. Thank God, everything is going good. But when all this was going on, in the height of it, my thyroid was sticking out of my neck. Oh my goodness, I was having hypothyroid. It was just like my body was just so sick. It was just sick from all of this. Just I could feel like my like brain waves moving around in my brain. It was just crazy. It was like, oh my goodness. Once I got away from him, my body just started to calm back down. It just started to be like, everything. I just started to like kind of I don't know if you say demagnetize. I don't know, but I just started to feel better and started to get myself back because my health was just shot. Mm-hmm. It was crazy. I was just like, oh my goodness, like this really can affect like your adrenal system and all this stuff. It's crazy. It's a lot. It's a lot. And it's just so sad that people do this to other people. Like, I'm like, do they know how sick this makes people? Like, sick in the body, not even just in the mind. Your body gets sick.
Absolutely. We got videos. And if you notice, there was Maria. She was talking about how sick she was and having those panic attacks and rushing to the hospital, where all of that time she was with him, he made her sick. Narcissists can literally affect your physiological.
Yeah, that's a definite. Like I totally get it. I didn't understand from my, relationship with my children's father. I didn't understand, like, because I went through the similar things when I was with him, but I didn't understand. Like, I wasn't making the connections. But once I started to lose weight, then that's when I just got out of there. I was like, I knew it was the same thing because it was only like a couple weeks. I had dropped like 20 pounds. Mm-hmm. Who drops 20 pounds? And I was like, no, when you're not even trying to.
Exactly.
And like I had been away from him. We were separated for a while, for like around 3 years. And because our relationship was kind of off and on, together for a few years, off a few years, that's another sign. But that wasn't always because of him. That was different things too that I just didn't want to be in a relationship at the time. And, and everything was always cordial. When we separated, we always still talk. We were friends and everything like that. He told me he met this girl and they ended up getting engaged and everything. I was happy for him. I had just, I decided I didn't want to be single and I didn't want to be, he was really upset with me. My family was upset with me. His family was upset with me because they wanted us to be back together. I didn't want to. So he ended up meeting some girl, and he ended up, she got pregnant, and the girl had a miscarriage. And supposedly he said that she had 4 different deaths in her family. They was only dealing with each other for 11 months. And that's the reason why I started being confused, because I'm starting thinking, is he really a narcissist? Because I was dealing with him for 17 years, and I never had any bad treatment, never a crossword, anything. And then he told me that she was a borderline. This was what he told me. She was a borderline, and he was like, I could never do anything right, all this stuff. And him and his mom was explaining all this stuff to me. And I was thinking, did she turn him like that? Like
no,
she did that not. Relationship turn him like that? Because he was not like I just never seen him ever act like that ever a day in his life. It was odd.
You got to remember that he is a liar.
Yes.
Yeah, he is a liar, and he's not going to tell the truth. And so I just think that if you think about it, a lot of times you had answers, but you didn't confront answers. And because things went so well that you thought they went well, because the narcissist is going to be themselves, they can only hide for so long.
When that mask slipped, when it slipped all the way off, I just was like, "Who is this person?" But
he was that person for 17 years. You just missed
I
it.
know, I know.
Yeah.
And I'm going through cognitive dissonance. I know, like, one day I'm like, it wasn't him, it's her. The next day I'm like, it's him. I know it's him. Like, I go back and forth. My brain goes back and forth with, and I just got to keep telling myself, like, you know that you know what you know, so you got to do what you got to do. You already know what it is, even though I don't want it to be that way. He's constantly mad. I had to keep blocking him. He done making all these fake profiles, and for somehow I blocked him. He got back on my. I seen that he liked the post on my Facebook, and I was just like, "How did he get on there when he's blocked?" He was unblocked, and I don't know how he got unblocked. And his mom, she was unblocked.
But they can go
I was
through
like, "What is going
they
on?"
can go through friends. They can go through
I just
friends.
can't do it. I don't like. I'm like, So I had to reblock them again. That's the third time. I don't, because it's gonna be hard for me. If I talk to him, it's gonna be hard for me to. His dad just passed away. He tried to use that to get back in. During this, we've been separated for about 2.5 months, and in that course of the time, his dad passed away. And me and his dad was very, very close, and he tried to use that to get back into my life, and I didn't allow it. And I don't know how I didn't do it, but I'm proud of myself. I didn't allow him back in my life. Okay. My mom and my kid, they still want him to be in my life. They don't believe that he is this type of person.
Tanika, you know what you're dealing with. It doesn't matter what people want. You got to live, because it's not even about relationship. It's about your survival. And being with this man is going to make you physically sick, mentally sick, and you can't be with him. So what you got to do now is to build yourself. You have a therapist. You have to work with that therapist, because you're going to have to build yourself, because there's still a weakness there that you're struggling with, or it wouldn't be a struggle. And so you know that this man is toxic, and you're weak to that toxicity. And so what you got to do is build yourself up. Listen to those videos over and over and over again. Don't stop. Whenever I have a room, whenever Dr. Brian have a room, get in these rooms. Come on YouTube. Just keep building yourself up. And one day you'll be able to walk away with no thinking and no attachments as you continue, because your recovery will be continual.
Yeah, the video you made, the one you made, the last video you made before this one, the one on love bombing. Oh my goodness, I was crying. I was like, that explains it 100,000%. It's just like a drug. It's just like, oh my goodness, that's the way that you just feel. You feel like that. It's how do you? I don't know how to. I think that I'm gonna be able to. I'm kind of a strong-willed person when I make my mind up. So I think I'm gonna be able to do it, because I learned how to self-talk myself a lot of things. So I've been self-talking myself through it.
Tanika,
yes,
you know that didn't work, or you wouldn't have 17 years under your belt. You know that didn't work, or you wouldn't be here. If you go to cognitive dissonance and you don't deal with it, you're not going to get over it. You got to realize I was weak to them. I loved him, but I'm able to super abound above that. If you start saying what you were, because if you were, you never would have got to 17 years. You never would have been here.
Well, but what I was trying to explain to you, that like our relationship was during the 17 years, he's never left me. He's never discarded me. It was always me leaving him. It wasn't like the way that I know we don't have all that. It wasn't like that. Like, I'm trying to. That's the reason why it's very confusing. Like, and we got together. We was together for 2.5 years. He ended up being incarcerated. He was incarcerated for 3 years. We was back together again. Everything was fine. It wasn't that. It wasn't like he was just always clingy and all that, like I said in the beginning. He always had to go everywhere I go, and always bringing flowers every 5 minutes and doing all this stuff. But it wasn't never anything for me. Like, he was never verbally abusive or mentally abusive. It was never anything like that going on.
But
he was good to my kids. He helped me raise my kids, actually, through the years, off and on. It was off and on because, he had some other situations and other things that he was dealing with. And so did I, and a lot of times we just drifted off. It wasn't like it wasn't no bad blood or anything like that. That's what I'm saying.
I think that what needs to happen, I would love to talk to you personally, because a covert is a person who they're subtle in their behavior. You may be describing a toxic person rather than a narcissist.
Okay.
He could have been a toxic.
That's what I'm trying to figure out, and I think that's the reason where the cognitive dissonance is so because how could a person change that dramatically?
He did not.
He told me that he said that he was abused. Like, he was abused in the last relationship. We don't abuse each other. We've never, we talk about abuse all the time. We don't abuse one another. So I was just shocked. Like, why is he abusing me? Like, why is he taking this route? Like, what is going
because
on?
he was there. No.
But he was telling me that he was abused. That his last relationship that he was Tanika. In with someone else. Tanika. The female was a borderline. She was nuts. She was always pretending she was pregnant.
Tanika, yes. You gotta listen to me.
Yes.
Yeah, you gotta calm down now. Calm down and listen to me now, cause I'm kind of hyper. Yeah, no, that's all right. Let me be your mama for a minute.
Okay.
He was the same. It doesn't matter. I've been doing this for 37 years, and I done had every case that you can think of. A narc is a narc is a narc. It doesn't matter how nice they've been. It show you how blind you were, or it show you that you may have had a toxic person and something flipped them out. Because a narcissist is a narcissist. He's not going to be able to cover up for 17 years. They move the relationship so fast because they can't keep the mask on. So you may have, okay, but no, you got to let me talk. No, ma'am. And what happens is you probably with a person that's toxic. And he probably went left. And this man probably had a whole life you don't know nothing about. And we live in a small town. There's nothing you can do around here that everybody. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You did it. You know how your mom would keep a hold on you, but you did what you want to do. Yeah, I guess. Oh, but no. We live in a very rural area. It's very, very small. It doesn't matter. Everybody know everybody. Everybody know everything. All our kids go to the same school we went to. It's a town like that. So I understand what you're saying, and I agree. I agree that there is a lot of. I know for a fact, my therapist already told me there is a lot of cognitive dissonance. It is in regards to him. But and I have him on a pedestal. I know that I have him on a pedestal. Yeah, but you are not going to recover until you confront. So until you confront this man, he got every chance of coming back because he has you trauma bonded. He has you. That's called trauma bonded. And so you're going to have to get over that for you to heal. His best friend told me that. Live. When I explained it to his best friend, he said, "Well, don't you know he's a narcissist?" That's what his best friend said to me. And they've been friends since kindergarten. Okay, but what, Tanika, me and you need to talk on a different terms. Because we can't, I don't want to take the whole room and we talk about this. And it's too extensive for us to deal with this. So I want you to write me. You got a pen? Okay, yeah, hold on. Let me get a pen. My pen is right beside me. Or put it in your phone. Oh, I got the paper right here. Okay. It is Destiny Hepper 12s at gmail.com. Okay. I want you to write me and let's schedule something where we can talk. Okay. Because you got enough information. You done gave so much information and then you'll turn back and contradict that information. So I want us to talk. Okay. All right. Let me give somebody else a chance to take a chance to talk. Thanks so much for listening to me. You're so welcome. Yeah. I appreciate everything. I appreciate it. I love your channel and what all you guys do, Dr. Carmen, all y'all do and how much y'all help people. I love it. Thanks so much. All right. Thank you. Tanika, I'll also put that email in a message to you here on Clubhouse, okay? Is this Danielle? Yeah. Yes, ma'am. Be encouraged. Okay. I just sent your email. Thank you so much. Okay. Okay. All right. So now we have Darlene. Yes, Darlene. We need to unmute her. Danielle, unmute Darlene. Okay. Ms. Darlene, would you tap that mic button at the bottom right so we can hear you? There you go. Yes, ma'am. Good evening, everyone. Good evening. Let me read a couple of... hold on, Darlene. Darlene, hold on. Darlene, can you hear me? Mrs. Darlene, yes. Hold on 1 minute. Okay. I want to read something they are writing here on YouTube. Um, let me read a few statements over here. Um, Isabel says, Sam, I think is that Viknin or Vaknin say that he is a narcissist. And he is saying they are not human because they kill off all their real self a long time ago, and they are only their false self. Now, this is from a narcissist themselves. And Bebu say, do you feel guilty about ups? Oh, she's talking to somebody that I had to erase. Let me see some other statements here. Um, Kylie said we need to go back to our strength. She said hers was running. She was disabled in moving in a movement disorder. She said whenever she went back to that beautiful relationship and self-applied, she said it was. I think what she was saying, she need to go back to that beautiful relationship and apply strategies for herself. And Trisha said it's hard for a lot of people to understand. It took us time to figure out something was wrong with them. Absolutely. And most people don't believe it. Most people won't dare believe it. Babu said they look like the Taliban. Such treachery. She said a narcissist won't praise you after the love and bombing stage. He only do that during love bombing. Um, and Callie said one thing is we need to believe that we're okay. Yeah, you have to strengthen yourself because as long as you allow the narcissist to tear you down, they will, and they specialize in that. All right. Yes, ma'am, Darlene. Darlene, go ahead. Darlene, did y'all hear me read or was I on mute?
You were on mute.
Oh, I am so sorry. I thought y'all heard all of that I read. Okay. There was a guy, his name was Sam, and he is a narcissist. He was saying the narcissists are not human. He said because they gave up their humanity a long time ago. They don't feel, he said, and they kill off their emotions. Now, this is the narcissist himself talking.
Wow, I'm impressed.
Absolutely. That
there may be hope somewhere.
Yeah, that they even admitted, huh?
Yeah, really. But good evening, everyone. I just want to tell all the ladies that I'm listening to, my heart goes out for you. I was there. I was not in a long-term relationship with the person. I was actually just getting to know them. And they lived on the same street as my daughter, so she introduced me to the person. She thought it would be a nice person for me to go out, to the museums, lunch, and then in the course of us going out a couple of times, my spirit was not open to engaging on a personal level with this person, and I could never understand why I was so put off. And it's probably because I started to see some inconsistencies in the way they were communicating with me. I would see a couple of red flags here and there. And I think because I'm a very spiritual person and I give homage to God, that I actually was protected by the Lord and I was not able to go any further with the person. I hear the pain. I could not imagine 17 years, but I still experience some of the same things that you women experience because I've never met anyone who would purposely hurt me. Because sometimes people can hurt you, but it's not on purpose. It's just maybe a lack of something they didn't know that, who cares about you or even wants to get to know you even further and maybe lead up into a relationship, you are traumatized by the fact that you start to see things. I think the reason why a lot of women think that they can't, they keep getting involved with narcissists or people with dysfunctional characteristics is because we have to set standards, your own personal standards, not nobody else's, but things that you would accept and not accept.
Okay, Darlene, that is good, but that's not true.
Okay, tell me.
Yeah.
I'm listening.
You can have a standard. Most of these women that got today's woman, narcissists today are going after millionaire women, six-figure women, high-power women. They're going to classes, master classes. They're learning how to overtake and bring women down, and they're going after the strong woman now. They don't want a 10, they want a 20. And so they're going after, they call them the 20 women. And what happened with a narcissist is the spirit with the narcissist is a spirit of persuasion. That's why most of the time you get caught with them, you feel like you drugged out or you're under this addiction and you want to get away, but you couldn't get away. The first thing when you meet a narcissist, the flags start going off. If you don't obey those red flags in the beginning, you're going to get caught. The addiction is going to emerge. The dopamine, the oxytocin, all of these hormones are going to begin to rise. And you'll find yourself thinking about this person. Your eyes, the way you see things with your mind is the way you'll see things with your eyes. And so what happened is this person will all of a sudden, people have been with a narcissist that they would normally be attracted to, but they was around them. And what happens is when you're around them and you start letting your guards down, that addiction start to happen. And then you start to crave them. You start to want to be with them. And a narcissist has experienced how to get into those gaps and they love bomb because they know when they're love bombing, they're perfect. They're going to be everything you ever wanted, everything you ever dreamed. And it's going to look like you finally got them.
No, okay, thank you. Because I agree with that 100%. And that is exactly what I was experiencing. But because I just am a cautious person, I don't want to just like jump into a relationship. I think I am a little more, let me see. I always let me see because I need time to. I do believe that if you give a person enough time, you'll start to see things like you're saying. Don't like ignore your red flags. I experienced all the emotions. I really wanted to be in that relationship or grow into a relationship with the person. But I'm just the type of person that I just take my time. So that may have been a thing that kind of helped me, but I still experienced the fog, the confusion. When I talked, it seemed as if I was rambling. Because like you said, people, people don't understand that when they start to unmask or accidentally unmask themselves and you catch something and you see a different person than you thought you were getting to know, that right there is a shock. Because you do not, most people don't believe that people could be that sinister. You know what I mean? To actually go into someone's life, interject this persona of a fake person based on what you're telling them. That's what I think too. Sometimes we disclose too much about our wants, our last relationships, and things like that. And a narcissist feeds on everything that you say because they're going to use that to manipulate you. They want to find your weak spot. at your videos on the spiritual level, and I concentrated on that, which helped me take my mind off of that person and understand what I was going through. And it took a long time because, like I said, I've been 17 months no contact.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that means I've known that person for now over 2.5 years. And when I go to visit my daughter, because he lives on the same street, it seems like he gets happy. He turns the music up down the street. So, anything to grab my attention. But, I'm just there because she may be going out of town and I have to lock up the house, get the mail and things like that. But sometimes I just lock up the house, I got a timer for some of the lights in the different rooms. Mm-hmm. And I let them set them, and I set them, and I'll just lock her house up until she gets back, because I don't want to be nowhere near them, because even if you pass by them, they're going to perceive that you're coming there to see them, or, you got to really be careful with them. And that's what I learned from you guys. You got to watch how you do certain things, because anything, they really don't want to let you go. And I was just blessed. But that doesn't mean I didn't experience the hardship, because I had to watch you guys for almost a year. Right. And then I just started getting busy, and you had one video where you said, you have to get into yourself. You have to, start working on yourself and building and taking classes and doing this. And those things are the things that made me free, because I was so busy taking these classes and, doing this pottery thing and volunteering at the hospital, that it just started to decloud my mind, and the fog started to go away. Exactly. And it took a lot. It was not easy, but you do have to find a way to separate. And I understand that some people with children and stuff, theirs is even more difficult. But I just wanted to tell the women, you can do it. I suggest what I learned from Mrs. Sandler and Dr. Carmen Bryant. You have to find things that keep your mind productive, keep you moving forward. And it's hard at first, but if you keep going, you will find yourself free.
Absolutely.
That's all I got to say, and thank you so much.
You are so welcome. Thank you, Darlene. And next we have Maria.
Hello, hi. Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you.
Um,
Before you start, I want to read this. I love this that Bebu got. It's Proverbs 4:23 out of the International Version. She said, above all, guard your heart from everything you do, because your life flows from it. The Bible said that out of your heart comes the issues of life. And when you guard your heart, that means you got to be on alert. And at everyone that is on YouTube and Clubhouse, I'm going to do this video, and it's the narcissist versus a regular relationship. I definitely want you to tap into that video, and especially those of you who are here on the program tonight, because that was a major issue on tonight, to know the difference. So look for that video. And thank you, Babe. Yes, Maria.
yes. So, hi, Ellen. It's really nice to meet you. It's my first time here, so I'm a bit nervous.
Oh, that's okay.
I haven't really talked about this, but I've had 3 narcissist relationships in the last 20 years. And I grew up in a narcissistic home with my parents and my 8 siblings, cousins, everybody. It took me about 35 years to realize that I was dealing with narcissists. And the first breakup took me about a year, and I got better somehow. And then the second one took about a year and a half. And then the third one was a priest. I don't know what happened, but the last one just broke me. I just totally changed. Before, when I was living with them, and, everybody that's gone through it, the cheating, the lying, the bullying, the putting you down, all the mind game that they did, I was strong. I was able to handle at all. Like, it didn't really impact me where I would like not be able to do things, but I think I was more of a stronger empath then, and I knew what was going on, but I just didn't really care. And second, my families wouldn't really let me leave. Mm-hmm. And over the years, this happened. But the last priest, after only been with him for 2 months, this fog or something just lifted off my head, and I started seeing people for who they are. Mm-hmm. And it's like I was naive, and it just went out the window. I would now see people for who they are and how they act, and I became weak, like weak in the senses. I get nervous. I can feel a toxic energy coming near me, or I can just like feel like I'm more in tune. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, I'm more weak. I'm just wondering, why didn't I have all those symptoms living with them and with my mom and them? And this last recent one was, I'm trying to get away from my family, but I go no contact 6 months, and then I go back, and then I go, and then I go back, because I'm like sick without them. Like, I don't eat, I don't sleep, I don't think. And I'm like, well, it was easier to get over the guys, but why isn't it easy to get over your family when they treat you so bad and they literally tell you want nothing to do with you? Like, you're better off just killing yourself. What kind of girl can't fight depression? You know, you used to be so strong, you used to be able to take our stuff. And now I'm like, I don't know, I'm just sensitive now. I cannot tolerate it. My point is what happened? Like, why is it? I know all the information. I know what all these people do, all their tactics, but my heart is just so attached to my family, even though they treat me like crap.
Because they're your family. We're very forgiving in our family. And Holocaust said that I see people for who they are now. And so when you said that, she said, yes, she do too. And see, when you done been through things, it's like a child that grows up with the family and the family abuse the child still love the mother, the child still want the mother, the child still prefer the mother, even though the parent abused them because it's a maternal instinct. And even though your family are abusing you, you love your family. But that love for their family that are narcissistic put narcissistic frequency in your life, and now you're drawing narcissists. And because you're an empath, they chode down who you were. And because you have not been trained in the power of who you are and the presence of who you are, and so you allow people to do crazy things to you, because being an empath, a lot of times we feel like we have to in order to register as a good person, because an empath has a, they're very they have a conscience, and empaths are sent to help. They are helpers, and they help people get through hard times, hard places. But a lot of times what the enemy would do is allow our hard places to become our stumbling blocks, and you can't really help anyone else, and you were designed to help, but instead you let people use you, abuse you, because there's 3 relationships you had that you know they were empaths. So you didn't learn from the first one or the second one, and so you got a frequency. And if that frequency is still there, Maria, you can have a 4th one.
I just feel like when I was listening to your whole, like, you know, the evil Jezebel spirit and stuff, I've been reading into that a lot. And I feel that a lot around them now. And I'm just like, I can sense all the evilness and everything that you guys do. It isn't something natural. It's not just what is it? NDP, whatever. It's a serious evil issue, because no human can watch someone cry and then just hurt them and do all these stuff to them. I'm just saying, I think how do I fight the spirit
You
if it's done something to me?
see,
Like,
okay,
not normal to want someone this much that treats you like garbage. I know this.
yeah, but remember we talked about that addiction that can happen with your family too, that are narcissists. Doesn't matter if it's a family or whether it's a friend or whether it's a lover or whether it's a husband. That spirit of persuasion is with them, and that force that is with them entangles your life. That's why they trauma bond, because they entangles your life. And because you love your family and want to be with your family, like her car said, what she goes through, now she is scrutinizing people, and she see people for what they are. But there was a time she didn't see people for like that. She said they groom you most of your life, and that's what happened. You've been groomed to accept to accept abuse.
Yeah. But how do we cut this contact, or how
But
do we
you're gonna
power
have to
ourselves up?
you're gonna have to, okay, if you're a Christian, you can get in the Bible, learn what God has to say about you, get positive reading material, get positive uh uh announcements concerning your character and who you are. Every day you have to look at yourself and talk to yourself and say, look, I am this. I'm strong. I'm powerful. I'm able to think. And I don't need people to be dependent on them to be somebody. I'm able to stand on my own. And then the Bible says you are fearfully and wonderfully made. You start holding to the things you know that are right. Because the narcissists, their whole life, they're going to kill you, destroy you, devaluate you, discard you. They will not close doors because they leave an option for them to always come back to destroy your life.
Like, I've been dealing with this for the past 2 years, trying to get over them, and I've been told that in order for me to heal, I still have to forgive them, and I still have to heal whatever I have inside of me that's attracting them. And at the same time, I have to come to a place where I won't be affected by anybody else's emotion. Basically, become a monk where I won't get triggered easily. So
That's not gonna happen. You're an empath. You're gonna be a monk and you'll be so triggered until they cut your hair, you'll grow it back.
yeah, so I'm just so confused. And okay, so how does somebody not get
Is this your
triggered?
first, okay, is this your first time being on the program with me live?
Yeah,
Okay. I need you to stick with me for a minute. I need you to come on. When I come on live, I need you to look at those videos, look at Dr. Carmen Bryan, and,
yeah,
because there's a lot of good teachers that are on YouTube that are talking excellent. We need to put something in you. See, it's not going to just happen. I'm a super empath. You need to be
yeah,
around super empath because super empath can help govern young empath in their emotions so you'll learn how to use your love instead of absorbing negative energy, and you're super sensitive. You
yeah.
know stuff and probably deny it. You can detect when a person is wanting to use somebody, and but you will excuse it.
Yes.
You can detect your family, the wickedness, because you're super sensitive. But what
Yes.
happened is you won't do anything about it. You just fall into the trap. You have to stop permitting yourself to give way and to fall in the trap. And you got to give yourself the right to say no to folk. Absolutely no. And then to keep you from changing your mind, leave. Because you know that once you say no, you're gonna have a problem with keeping it. So leave out of their presence.
It's because I'm scared to leave them, and then I'm going to be lonely. I'm not going to have no family. Now it's put to a position where I think about them all day. I cannot eat. I can't sleep. I'm literally losing my hearing, and I'm getting so sick without them. And when I'm with them, it's like I'm even more sick because I can feel their toxicity. I can feel the negative. I can, like, my stomach does all these turns and stuff. It's like my body's saying run, 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 but my mind's like stay, stay, stay. But I know, and I had conversations with them after. I'm like, they tell me, they're like, there is something in you, and there's something within us. And my mom admits, she's like, I don't like your energy. And after I'm like, yeah, and I can see your energy, and it's like she knows that I know, and
But what you're gonna
it's
have
like
to do, Marie, you're gonna have to live without them or die with them. Those are the only choices you have. And you got to stop giving yourself room for any other choice. You don't have another choice because you're sick, you're really sick with them, and then you're sick without them. No, the
yeah.
truth of it is you are afraid, and you have to get over that fear. As a believer, you get in the word of God. Faith coming by hearing, hearing by the word of God. You get in the word of God. You stay in a place that builds your momentum and builds your faith up. And the only way you're going to do that is with God.
Like, I've been like reading and stuff, but the fact that I cannot do the basic functions, just take care of my kid, and I'm just like, what the hell's wrong with me? Why can't I stop thinking all these negative thoughts? Like, my brain, I literally stay in bed for 10 hours. I won't get up. I won't do nothing. And I'm just like, okay, go to this doctor, every time I go over there, my son's leg broke. Then the next time I go over, my daughter had now seizures, and I'm like, she's never had a seizure in her life. So I'm trying to think, okay, are they like bad luck or something? It's every time I go there, something bad happens to me. So why do I keep going back? Why can't my brain just be like, snap out of it? Like, I think it's like a form of PTSD, depression. I don't know, but I tried everything. How do I think clearly?
Okay, listen to this. Isabel says, they will never change. You must take care of yourself. Lisa Love said, heal your abandonment wounds. See, that I agree with that one. That's a good one, Lisa. And then Monifique said, right, they will never change. Then we got Heather. She said, longevity, heartache, or temporary heartbreak. She said, let your heart break so your soul can heal. She said, as Pastor Blakes would say, stick to this channel and she can help you. She's talking about me, direct you in the right way. And Isabel said, Anthony Reed has hypnosis. Oh, we're not going to deal with that. Okay, I'm not going to deal with that, Isabel, because I believe you need to be cognizant in your own mind with your own will. And Tresha said, that which doesn't kill me will only make me. Enlightened, I'm just reading you some comments to strengthen you. Enlightened Goddess said, I was raised by a strict religious narcissist. It was hard to break. She said it was even harder in therapy working through it. And Jasmine said, okay, absolutely. And so what is happening here, Marie, is we need to strengthen you. So I'm gonna need you to I need you to make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel. Follow, okay, subscribe, and then follow me on Clubhouse. Anytime I come on, you make sure that if you can be on, even when you see me and you don't want to be bothered, get on anyway.
Yeah.
Let me build you up. I need to go into the root and hit those roots. And just like, who was this that was talking? That was Heather, was talking about the abandonment. No, that was Lisa that was talking about letting your abandonment wounds heal, because that's what you have. You got a spirit of abandonment and rejection because you was never loved by your family like you should.
Yeah.
So those are, but they grew up with you, Maria, and now your children are suffering, and you're not even there. You can't be there, but okay, then let's do this. Let's go.
I think like they brainwashed me or something.
No,
or they
Marie.
did a magic spell on me.
Okay, but listen to me.
I'm like, what kind of person
Marie,
does this? Like, why can't I just? I'm like breaking down. Like, I'm at the bottom of my life. I'm
okay,
just like,
no, you're not at the bottom. We're going to show you that you're not at the bottom.
I don't know how to heal this wound, this abandonment.
But you're not listening to me. You won't listen to Marie. Are you going to listen to me?
Of course.
Okay, then you need to let me talk. Okay, we need to get you. You got a lot of stuff in you that done pulled you down. We need to get that out of you and put something else in you. And I'm telling you, as you listen to these videos, as you walk with me, Dr. Brian, walk with us, we're going to strengthen you. We're going to give you the confidence. I'm a super empath. Dr. Brian is not. But the wisdom that she has is powerful. She's a trauma specialist. And the skill she had will go into those trauma places and help you heal. As a super empath, I can teach you how to stop absorbing everything around you like it's your responsibility. And you don't absorb people's ways and their habits until it doesn't load you down and you got acute depression.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, but
I wasn't like this. That's what I'm getting. When I was raised in there, I was strong empath. It didn't really affect me. It's like
it did. You just didn't know it. No. It did. You didn't know it.
Like I wasn't sensitive. I wasn't like.
Yes, you were. If you were empath, you were empath. You were all of that. It just hadn't hit you yet. The environment you came up. It's like an accident. You know when you have an accident? Yeah. And the adrenaline is going and you don't feel the pain? So you don't go to the doctor and 2 days later you can't hardly walk?
Yes.
That's what happened when you was growing up. It was the adrenaline. Then when you got out, then you realized you had been in an accident. The pain came. So now we are healing the pain from the accident. And we're getting you not to live off adrenaline. We're getting you to live life.
Yeah, because I live off like fight or flight every day. So if I like go to a doctor's, if I go to some office or something, I can literally catch a person, and I'm like, okay, this person knows, and then we end up arguing, and I'm like, but what happened? Like, how does this guy just be so rude to me for no reason? It's like my energy is so weak.
No, your energy is not weak, but I mean, nobody has to beat up on you because you really do a good job for yourself. Look, I'm going to have to come off.
So
Uh,
much.
I need to make sure Danielle, make sure I get Maria's information for me. Can you make sure that because my iPad is getting ready to go out, guys? And let's continue this. I'm going to come on again, and we can continue this. Tanika, I want you to come back at another time and we will continue the questions. Thank you so much for being with me on YouTube and thank you so much for being with me in Clubhouse. I love you. You all make my life just awesome. And I appreciate you so much. And I'm looking forward to seeing you again on Clubhouse. I'm going to try to come back on tomorrow. You pray for me because you know my travel schedule. Many of you that have been with me, you know I have a heavy travel schedule. So be with me on tomorrow. So if you haven't subscribed to my channel, subscribe to my channel. Whatever time I come on, you will get an alert and you can join me if you are available. And we will come on Clubhouse. I'll be on 45 minutes on YouTube and then I'll be on Clubhouse. Would that work for everybody?
Yeah, it sounds good. It's
Okay.
6 a.m. where I am.
Oh, okay. It's what time?
6 a.m.
Oh my God, where are you?
I'm in Toronto.
Oh, bless your heart.
Yeah.
Well,
I just saw it this first time. I was like, oh my God, it's on.
oh, bless your heart. Well, you know what, Danielle, make sure you get Maria's information. And Maria, I will contact you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate everything you do. You're amazing.
Oh, thank you so much. You're such a sweetheart. Clubhouse, I want you to know that I appreciate you being with me. And I'm getting ready to close this room. I love you to life. And Maria Danielle is going to get your information. Thank you so much for being with me. God bless you. Alrighty, we are here on YouTube. You went with me to Clubhouse and you saw how the hurt and the pain and how frustrating that can be, especially with Maria when she have kids and her family that abuse her are now doing the same thing to her children and she don't feel like she have the strength to get up. But we're going to believe God. We're going to get her up and going and she will realize the life is huge and God has so much for her and life is not over. As long as you breathe, you can do it. As long as you got life in you, you can do it. And I want you to know you haven't come to the end of anything but pain and suffering, but you've come to the beginning of a full-blown life ready for you to take control and advantage of it. It is God's gift to you. I am Helen Sadler and I'm your destiny helper. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, subscribe to my YouTube channel. Push that bell. Every time I come on, you will be notified. Remember, I'm going to do a video right after this, and I want you to look at that video, the difference between a narcissist relationship and a regular relationship. Our ladies want to know. I will see you on the next video and I'll see you tomorrow live. God bless you.